Right, welcome back to the Game Pantry. Retro Bear here, as usual, sat in the corner of the room, and today we've got a bit of a ramble. What did I say, a ramble? Just a few odds and sods about things I've been doing and getting up to. Also, got some shout-outs to do as well, an event to mention, and anything else that comes into my shrapnel-encrusted brain during the next 15-20 minutes or so. Hope you're all well. Nice to see you back here again. Thanks to everybody who's popped along recently and given the channel some support. Nice to see. That's always very much appreciated. Thank you so much indeed for doing that. So first thing I want to mention, we've got another event coming up, which is great to see, and great to see that this one's coming back for a second go. Back in February, Mrs. Bear was stalling out, the Retro Repair Bear was stalling out at the Black Country Games Fair, the first event of its sort in the Black Country, as far as I remember anyway. I can't remember too many of the gaming events that have been done in this neck of the woods anyway. Nice and local for us. And I'm pleased to say that the guys down at Hidden Chest Gaming, Dana and Ant and Liam, Dana and Liam, yeah. The guys down at the Chest have announced that they'll be doing a second one upcoming in September. Excuse the rough nature of doing this, but that's the event. It is the Black Country Games Fair. It's not, that's the flyer from before. It is the Sunday again, and it is the 17th of September. Sunday the 17th of September. I believe the event times are exactly the same as before. I think it's meant to be 11 till 4, although I think, and there's an early bird at 10 o'clock. Is it early bird at 10 or is it early bird at 11? Yeah, early bird 10 till 11, and then I think the event opens to the general public at 11 o'clock. And it meant to run to about 4 o'clock, but I think last time it was about 2:30 that it pretty much it had sort of come to a halt. Really well supported, not just by members of the YouTube gaming group-ish, not just YouTube gamers from all over the country. And a lot of people came some distances. We had Cooper's World come from Southampton, Retro Ed, Marathon Gaming came from down south. We had Ink Northerner and Retro Games arrived from up north. People came from all over. Dave and Dave from 37 Retro, Mike from Without Further Ado, came from Bristol area. So yeah, a lot of people came to support the event. Really fantastic. That's why they're doing another one. Same venue, which I think is the Archery Centre in Brierley Hill. I'll stick a link in below because that's probably the best way to do it. I haven't got an up-to-date flyer, I'm afraid. I'm just basically on the fly using that one from last year, but yeah, not last year, this year. But yeah, I'll put the link in below to the website. You can buy tickets now and get your early bird tickets while you can, because they will go quite quickly. They did last time. They sold more than they had to put extra early bird tickets out last time because there was such a demand for it. So fair warning, you've got a month to go and get your tickets. And the Retro Repair Bear will be there. She'll be bringing some of her, I'm sure, bringing some of her Bluetooth boom boxes as well, and she'll also be bringing hopefully some of her consoles and computers that she's repaired, and she'll be there to talk about any console requirements, repairs, computer repairs that you have. So come along and see her. I'll be there as well. Probably assisting or hindering, as the case may be. So that's Sunday the 17th of September at the Archery Centre in Brierley Hill, the Arena Combat Archery Centre, 106A Little Cottage Street, Brierley Hill. But I will stick a link in the description below. You can go across the website, order your tickets there, check out all the information that's on there as well. For those who went the first time around, I understand that pretty much all the traders who were there last time are returning. Some other traders are coming in as well, so that's always good. So it might be more there. I think a couple of people who are doing the sort of demonstrations in the local groups, I don't think they are going to be involved this time. It's just going to be majority of people buying, selling, local traders and retailers, some people who do events up and down the country as well. I'm not sure if Eddie's stalling out. Eddie at Rollercore was stalling out. I'm pretty sure Stu to UK will be there yet to pull out last minute due to a reason which I don't know what it was, but he wasn't there. He was meant to be there, but he wasn't able to get there in the end. There's a good mixture of games and magazines and all sorts of things, tech, whatever you want. He's going to be there. Go along. It's a great day out, and like I said, so many people came out locally, not just gamers and people have gaming channels to go and support it and show that support. It was so well supported by the local community as well, so fantastic, and great to see that the guys down at the Chest did so well the first time that they've done a second one as well, so fantastic. Sunday 17th September from 10 AM early bird, 11 AM general entry. Go and get your tickets now, link below. Shill. Right, shitting over. Shitting over. So what have I been doing since I did a last video? Well, I've not been anywhere, not bought anything. But I did manage to have a crack with this, which we haven't seen many of these on here, do we? This is an Amiga 500 Plus, for those of you who've got absolutely no idea what that is. So this is not the one I had when I was younger, because that went down the tip. But I had the Amiga 500, which was the version before this. This was the 500 Plus, which came out before they then brought down a much, I'll try and do it in one hand if I can, a sort of a much more stripped down A600. Now the problem with the 500 Plus was it wasn't, in terms of backwards compatibility, it wasn't great. In fact, somebody told me the other day, fresh out of the box, the A500 Plus wouldn't work with many games. So why am I holding this up and about to drop it on the floor? I'll put it down here before I do drop it, because it's bloody heavy, that. Anyway, Mrs. Bear had been doing some repairs, and she'd done some monitor repairs and wanted to make sure that the sound was working fine on it. So, given the fact it was a Commodore monitor, hooked the 500 Plus up to it and set it up, and it was great. And she put a post on her Instagram, Retro Repair Bear. If you didn't see it, there's a picture of me there holding some Amiga games, about to go downstairs and give them a good go, and it was great, you know, just testing, just playing the games for a bit. And I know I've got loads and loads of Amiga backups which I haven't got around to testing yet. Some I got from my late friend John, he's up there, and some original games which I had from years ago as well, and stuff I just never really got through to sitting. I got 7 or 8 boxes of just backups. And some original games. I took some of the original games down, which tend to sit up here and also in the other room. And it was going great. You know, I put Lethal Weapon on, brilliant. That was a backup copy of Lethal Weapon, and then got my original, my Hit Squad copy of Smash TV. Put that in Xenon 2, just for the music. I didn't play the game. Just see how good that sounded. You know, Hudson Hawk, Kickoff 2. I played my first game with Kickoff 2 in 12 years. 0-0 draw. Could have gone either way. I didn't quite lose the old thing. I was playing standing up as well. I wasn't sitting down. It was very unusual for me, because usually when I use a joystick, I used to have it on the table and sort of play that way. But I was having to sort of stand up and hold the joystick, which I don't usually like to do, but didn't hinder me a great deal. And it was all going really well. And I put a copy of Batman the movie in, which John very kindly, John very kindly donated to me last year. I think it was October, before we went to Doncaster. And it sort of got the first pot loaded, and then there was a sort of squealing sound coming from the drive, and didn't sound particularly good. Tried that a couple of times, didn't work. I think put another game in afterwards, that was okay. And then every game after that I put in just wouldn't work. So the monitor, it worked absolutely fine, brilliant. That's been tested great. So Mrs. Bear can move on to the next repair. Which might be the A500 Plus, because that I'm not sure whether the drive has seized up on it. You just put the disc in now, it just reads me there blank. Because every disc was going in with blank, and I thought, well, hang on a second, let's put Smash TV back in. And it just goes, anyway, got the Amiga, goes click, 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 stop. Tried it again, click, 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 stop. Well, that worked a minute ago, I know that's fine. That one is working, so why isn't then nothing worked? So I thought, I've got all these backup discs and none of them work, and all of a sudden, now this one doesn't work. So that's going to need taking apart and having a look at the drive. I have been told, I think it's likely to be a case of cleaning it, in which case there might be a Retro Repair Apprentice Workshop video coming soon. I was also told by Mike, I mentioned earlier, posted in one of the WhatsApp groups, and he's told me, have you got this particular it's a disc to Kickstarter? I can't remember what the name is called. It's like Roblox, but it's not. It's something very similar sounding. He said, have you got one of those? And I know, having gone through those boxes of backups, I've actually got one of those discs. So I know that, and I think Mike said you just put that in before, and it's only with the 500 Plus, I believe. You put that disc in beforehand, take it out, and then put the game in that you want to play, and then it should boot. But in all honesty, because I think of the fact that I was putting in discs which haven't probably been used for, I mean, you know, the first lot of Amiga discs I got back in 2009, 2010. Some of those I had to throw out because when you pull back the plastic, the metal clip on the front of the disc, you could see that there was some, well, some of the discs had rotted. So, but some of them from that batch I tested were absolutely fine. So I'm not quite sure what happened with that. So I suspect it's probably in case that the driver's just had so much dirt and muck go through it that it needs a good clean out and a bit of a service, which I think Adam, Amiga Old School, told me a bit of IPA and some greasing up and try it again. And that's a problem when you're using this old tech. You know, we had the same problem with tape games. Your mould on the tapes will just, you know, cause the tape to deteriorate or clog up the heads. Again, just not using for ages will clog the heads up on your tape drive, and in some cases the tapes will seize because they haven't been done for ages, and the best way to do that is stick them on top of a radiator, which means you can only play your tape games between October and April every year. Wouldn't leave them there for too long, but just to get them moving again. And the tape and the disc, the 3.5-inch floppy discs, are exactly the same thing. If they've not been used for a long time, that they will seize. They will seize. You can, I think Mrs. Bear said, you can probably try and take them apart and just give them a clean. But there was no evidence of rot on the disc. I probably pulled the clip back. The actual disc data itself seemed absolutely fine, but they really seem a bit on the stiff side. So we'll have to see, but that may be another video in itself. So yes, what I've been doing so far, I've been damaging computers, which is great, isn't it? I'm not trying to make work for Mrs. Bear. This is one thing she bought in for, which I think was needed some servicing work on, which she'd done. It was a working order, and then I've gone and broken it again. I'm good, me, you know. Finally, for this video, so that's the only thing I've been doing over the last few days, game-wise. The other thing I want to do again is last video I did some shout-outs we haven't done for ages. If you go back, and people who watch this channel for a long time will know, I've always traditionally given channel shout-outs to other people, either people who are new to YouTube, who have been on YouTube a bit, just purely because I've watched their videos. I think, yeah, these people deserve a bit of a higher profile. You know, they may not want it. I don't know. Don't ask them first. I just do it. And I've always asked people who watch this to go across and go and look at them. You may find that some of the people content that they do in terms of the areas they do, like, you know, pickups, gameplay, you'll find somebody will do something that'll fit in with what you like, and you may find that some of these people don't, which is fine. You know, and all I'm doing this purely is to give a leg up to some of these channels who, you know, may appreciate the extra views and a few extra subscribers, just to drive them on. As I said before in the last video, we all started here. You know, no one ever asked us to do something like this. I've always done it traditionally. I know I stopped doing it for a while, but I've had a bit more time to watch YouTube, which is not something I've had before. And I've actually made a concerted effort to sit down and just see, are there any new channels? I've played around with my settings on YouTube to take a lot of the crap that comes through in terms of filters and recommendations and just try to filter it down a little bit. And I've actually found out that it's thrown up channels that I've never seen before, who are relatively new, already starting out. They've been doing some videos for quite some time and don't seem to have, you know, the traffic. You look in the comments, there's very few comments from people, and I'm quite surprised. So I'm going to do some more shout outs here just to try and do it. I'm not going to whiz through them. Well, I'm going to whiz through them. I'm going to hang around too long. Everyone will be in the description below, so you can go across and have a look. And I'll just give you a quick synopsis from my initial ideas. These are sort of the key areas they focus on. Like I said, they may be for you, they may not be. You might go, oh yeah, great, more people who do things like that, brilliant. Or you'll go, that's not really for me. Thanks Russ, thanks for the recommendation, mate, but not for me on this occasion. And if that's it, that's great, you know. So the first one I'm going to mention, he hasn't done a video for quite some time, but I'm only going to mention him because he got in contact from the last video I did. And he's very kindly offered to send me something to the post. So I'm going to mention his channel anyway. And I think, from what I understand, certainly, he's a name reasonably well known from a long time ago. So it's a channel called 1MSX to Go, run by John. I know that because I've been speaking to him. And I think he's only done 2 videos in the last 12 months. But if you did the Master System Challenge that was running from there, I know some of you would obviously be aware of it. You can go back and there's all those videos, gameplay on there as well to look at. But he's such a nice bloke, Johnny. He got in contact pretty much straight away and offered me a game. So he's very kindly agreed to send that out to me, which is brilliant. So just purely for courtesy, and it might hopefully inspire you to do some more videos, John. I don't know why you've stopped doing them. I don't know the story behind it, but it may do that. So that's 1 MSX to go. MSX as in the old computer. But again, links below. Next one up, relatively new, is Danco Games. If you like pickups, then you'll love that. Some great things there. Again, like a lot of people, this channel seems to focus on picking up stuff with the intention to resell, but also items that'll go into the collection. But yeah, I'm going through some of the things that he's managed to pick up. I think he picked up a Nintendo bundle. The video I watched the other day for about £100. I think he paid £99 for it. And I think when he worked it all out or whatever, if he resold it all for the prices they were going for, he'd probably get close to £400. He may not get that. He may get a bit less depending on what market value is, but there's a real value. So if you enjoy videos like that, don't go across Danco Games. Now this is probably the one that I would urge you to go across and show some support to. Not because it's a better channel or better presented or better valued or anything like that at all, but it's somebody who I've watched a couple of videos and I'm really surprised at absolutely, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people picking this one up. And it's Delirious Games Room. And I'm not joking. If you like these sort of videos that I do, where I just sit here and talk, right, and show you stuff, and move on to the next one and show you stuff again, should be sooty there, shouldn't they? You'll like this because I thought it's very like me in a way. And I don't know why people like me. So if you like me, you're gonna love this guy. Heavy on the collection videos at the moment. But it's also done the games room tours. I know there's some people that love games room tours, and it's a video that's brought a highest number of views, but not a lot of comments. So go across and have a look at Delirious Games. It is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, he's done lots of collections. He's done just the 3DO collection video last couple of days. I mean, there's not many of us who've got 3DOs and got a collection to do a video that last time. I watched the Atari 26 and I started watching the N64 one, then I started to go into play testing Amiga, so I got to watching that one. There's Games Room Tour, there's other collections there. Really nice selection of stuff behind them as well. Go across, show some support, please do. Right, I'm going to try and read this one out. So that's that one. So we've now got Destruct No Drone Gaming. If you like strategy games, there's some strategy gameplay on there. Also heavy on the pickups as well. Again, relatively new, small number of videos. So go across and have a look at that as pickups and strategy. That is Destruct No Drone Gaming. I was very pleased to say that when I did the shout-outs in the last video, some people who I shouted out got in contact. Again, it's no obligation. I don't expect people who I shout out to come and say, thank you so much for doing that, I really appreciate it. You don't have to, it's not done to come and say thank you to me. I'm just doing this because I like what I saw and I think more people should know about it. But it is great when people come back and say thank you, and quite a few people did. This was actually recommended. I shouted out a SMX show on the last round of shout-outs I did, and from that I got a message from this particular channel to say, oh, they mentioned you and sent me over here. I don't know whether they mentioned me probably on social media, I don't know. Anyway, so a channel for you to go and look at, Games Are From Saturn. How can you not go across, obviously, you suspect it to be about Saturn. And there is some Saturn stuff in there, so I'm looking at you, Game Zone Bird Room. You should be hot-footing across there straight away. But it's also to do with fixings and mods. The last video that's been uploaded is how to repair an American Super Nintendo, and there are other repair videos on there as well. And they've very kindly messaged me a few times on a couple of videos I've done, not just recently but before. So brilliant. So Games Are From Saturn. Go across and have a look at that one if you're interested in your fixing, your mods. Also Saturn as well. We were talking about one game and just referring back to the Saturn all the time, so it's very heavy on that one. Next one up, Geek World UK. Now this has got some traction on this particular channel, but the reason I'm mentioning this one is because what the owners of this particular channel trying to do is they're looking at they are going to be opening a retro gaming shop in Stoke. Now, for those of you who are up north who come down to Birmingham, it's an ideal sort of equicentral point, isn't it, between sort of Manchester, Yorkshire, Stoke. You've got to come down that way, you've got to come down the old motorway, and especially if people are going north in that direction, there's also a stop point. So if this does go across and comes off, great, because I don't think there are many gaming shops in Stoke. I don't know much more about it, so there's a lot of picking up stuff which is coming in for the stock to go on there. Yeah, just go and show us books, because if there's a market there, then this is something that perhaps we can try and get behind and assist and get some people to go there when the shop opens and things like that. Would be great if we could do. But yes, that's Geek World UK. I don't know the gentleman's name who does the voiceover. He's got this very Australian, New Zealandy twang to his accent, so I don't know. But he is off camera and assisted by the wonderfully titled The Knockout Fiona. Which is actually her name as well. She uses a YouTube ID, The Knockout Fiona. So anyway, really, really good. Go and watch that one. Some good stuff on there. We've got 5 more for you. What have we got here? MEK Bomber. Bomber spelled BOMBR. Don't worry about that. Description in the link below. This is NES gameplay. If you like the NES, there's some gameplay footage here. Tends to do 2 or 3 games per video, and they're about 15-20 minutes. Just tries to devote 5-10 minutes per game, go through like I do with Commodore Corner, things like that. So if you want to say that there's something interesting there for you to go across, I like to watch gameplay videos every now and again, just something different. Not that I particularly want to play the games. It's I haven't seen that game before. I think one of the ones I watched the other day was there was 3 games on the NES for Tiny Toons Adventures, because I like the Tiny Toons cartoons. I'm a big fan of both the Tiny Toon games on the SNES and the Mega Drive. So there's 3 on the NES, I believe. The first one, Tiny Toon Adventures. Then there's one in Tiny Toon Adventures in Wacky Land, and then there's a Tiny Toon Creators cartoon creator game as well. I didn't know that existed. I like to watch gameplay sometimes in the evening to wind down. So that's one there. That's MEK Bomber. Then we got Mr. P-Lay. So that's Mr. as in Mr. I think of a better example of that. And then play, which is obviously the word play with a hyphen between the P and the L. Why am I explaining this? What have we got on that one? Gameplay, particularly Titanfall. There's a lot of Titanfall gameplay on there. Vader. Oh God, something else. Star Wars game. I can't even remember bloody handwriting. Vader something. There's some gameplay about that on there as well. Also, there's a PS1 collection video, which is worth watching. Watched a couple lately, and that's another one which I can highly recommend to go across and have a look at that one. Mr. P-LA. Well, P-Lay. Not LA, because that's Los Angeles. Oh, forget it. Playmore 64. If you're a Commodore 64 fan, you know where I'm looking at the moment. There's a few people out there. This one focuses on Commodore 64 gameplay. Random games from their Commodore 64 collection, usually lasting between sort of 5 to 15 minutes. Does exactly what it says on the tin, and you should. Playmore 64. Yes. Playmore 64. One more for you to finish off with, and this is Rubcon Gaming, RUBCON Gaming, which is again gameplay, pickups, collections. We'll just put pickup collection, recent pickups, and also a collection video for the Dreamcast have just gone up on that one as well. So again, they're all quite similar, but some of them got their own little areas to go into. So let's go through those once again in alphabetical order. And then you can go and do something else. 1 MSX to go, run by John. Danco Games, Delirious Games Room, Destrucno Drone Gaming, Gamers are from Saturn, Geek World UK, MEK Bomber, Mr. P-Lay, get that right this time, Playmore 64, and Rubcon Gaming. If you go across those channels and show them some support, you may wish to subscribe, you may wish to watch the videos and leave some comments. Please give them some encouragement. They are all our relatively small channels. We've all been there, everybody. We've all been there. We know how hard sometimes it is to get yourself off the ground, especially if people put the effort in and do these. And some of these videos, like I said, they're very, very simple stuff. They're very like me sitting here in a dingy corner of the house doing videos. Just go and show them support. Just go and show them support and give them some encouragement. Hopefully they'll stick around. If you do go, I always say, tell them the Retro Bear sent you. They'll have absolutely no idea. Well, some of them may have, because I've left a few comments. I think the last time I didn't leave any comments for anybody, and they just got so surprised by it. This time I have left a few comments along the way, and some of these channels I do know already. But if they do, just say I'm sent to you. They won't have the idea I am, probably. It's all part of the fun. And if you can do that, that'll be great. Like I said, there may be for you, there may not be. Right, that's that done. There's nothing else for me to say apart from thanks very much indeed for watching. And I'll talk to you again soon. But until then, do take care. Bye-bye for now.